Hi there, it's Jennifer Hough. I'm here in beautiful Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. And this morning we were in our program, Flight School. And when we were in the program, one of our participants actually is from Las Vegas. So one of our participants was in Las Vegas. And for her, she was in Las Vegas last night, and one of her son, of course, was affected because one of his friends got shot. And so we had to have a discussion about what went on there from a much deeper level. And so we did. And I wanted to share with you a little bit about that discussion and perhaps a different perspective on that shooting, one that may assist at least something different to come out of such a painful act. One that may help others to find peace or explain it or give the mind a little clarity on what went on there. And we felt very inspired to share our discussion this morning with a group of powerful and insightful, beautiful leaders. So the first thing I wanted to share is that my friend, who is my colleague, my client also, that is in flight school, has that son. Interestingly enough, he looked at it and he sees a world that's falling apart, or a world where someone would open fire on innocent people. And he was the same son that in an event with 40 people, he actually asked in that event, after a very long conversation about where we're at in humanity and all that kind of stuff, which basically this event is really the event that just happened in Las Vegas with the shooting is really a benchmark of where we're at. It's not something to judge, perhaps. Just consider that it's not something to judge. It's actually something to look at as a benchmark of where we're at as to how we take care of other human beings, how we care for people who might have mental challenges, how we actually look at different aspects of I mean, it might be for you something about guns, it might be for you something about what was going on with that guy's life, but it's a benchmark of where we're at. If you want to know where we're at, just look at what's happening in society. We spend a lot of time judging, but this little boy was having questions. He's 14 years old, and he said, what's going on? And his mother, who was in the program, was thinking, how do I explain this one to him? So this is really an explanation, and I want to say hi to everyone that's joining us right now, Charas and Jeannie and Jody and all of you, and feel free to make comments. How this little boy is so brilliant, because he sort of looked at it and went, okay, I'm going to sleep on this, because he found out about it last night. But he was the same little boy that in an event, as I was just saying, he put up his hand before any adult did, and he said, Jennifer, now that you've asked for questions, I'd like to ask one, and my question is, how can the people in power let things like that happen? How can the people in power let stuff happen? And this is a year ago. This is long before this event happened, and he lives in Las Vegas. And my answer to him was, well, the problem is, my dear, is that you perceive that you're the one in power. See, or you perceive that they're the ones in power. You perceive that you're waiting for, our governments or whatever it is to make the changes. But in fact, you're the one in power. You're the one that has the ability to make change. You're the one that has the ability to change within you. And you want to ask yourself a very powerful question. By your actions, what is the world that you are creating? By who you be in the world, are you making people feel seen and heard and welcomed? By how you're going to be one day as a parent, are you listening and are you making your children feel like they're heard? It's really that what's happening right now in the United States, but in other places as well, is a direct reflection of where the world has gotten to thus far based on how humanity is responding to other human beings. And as a civilization, how we're acting towards each other. And since each of us are our own vortices of creation, we each are a potential piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth. When we behave from a place that most people can go to, and I completely understand why. Why did this happen? I'm judging the gun laws. I'm judging why people with mental health can have guns. Health issues can have guns. I'm judging that we don't have enough health care to take care of people that don't have the care that they need. I'm judging that, some people are this way. If that person had been of a different color, there would have been another judgment. Since he's of a certain color, there's another judgment. So people have all sorts of judgments about what happened. But you see, all of that is really a waste of time. Because our judgments are really based on opinions and have nothing to do with spending all that energy that we use to judge and assess, and instead taking that energy at some point, we want to use the energy of what happened or why somehow. Instead of taking the energy and judging, which basically adds more energy to the very problem we're trying to resolve, you take that energy and you ask the question, what part can I play in making it a better place for our children? For that now 13-year-old who asked that very poignant question, why do the people in power not do anything? Well, because they're not the ones that are in power. You are. Again, I say it. So, a couple of things I also want to share that we talked about this morning in flight school as a result of the participant that was actually in Las Vegas as she was participating remotely. She was shaken. She didn't sleep all night. So last night, I actually chose that we didn't do any work in the program because I could feel some energy shifting on the planet and in the room, and something was going on and there was something building. And we woke up this morning, I understood what I was feeling. Some of you may have felt the same. Some of you are very sensitive and you probably felt some shifting on the earth. And that's because we're all connected. Now, you might say that's a bad thing. We're all connected, and I got affected by something that happened somewhere else in the world. It kept me awake. I didn't realize it wasn't even mine. At the same time you got affected, you also have to understand, as you allow yourself to come into deeper understanding and to be more loving in the world and to be a better person, and to become and have the courage to become your piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth, your unique piece of the puzzle based on lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of who you've ever been, all the skills you've developed, the bridges you're able to build. And yet we're a little bit scared to be all of who we came to be because people judge. But the problem is that very piece of the puzzle of heaven and earth that you are, if you were to fully become that unapologetically without worrying about the judgments of others, you would actually be the change that's been asked for that would create a world where these kinds of things couldn't happen. So shall we continue justifying our fears and talking about them and analyzing? Or is it time to actually simply get on with the piece of the puzzle and find the ways and activate the methodologies and find the classes and get the support and join the communities that actually allow you to expand your particular area of genius and your ability to expand peace, which, by the way, includes every grocery store you go into, how you be when you deal with the teacher at your school, how you are with and hi, Carrie and everyone else that's joining, and how you be in every situation, even when you're walking out in nature or on the street. Do you actually connect with others? A person that would do something that would deliberately hurt others on such a mass scale generally feels incredibly disempowered. And simply in us being able to connect with others and acknowledge another's existence, I watched a special the other day saying that the greatest cause of depression is mostly a feeling of disconnection from others. What do you do to make sure you feel connected? And what do you do to make sure others feel connected in the world? It can be that simple, and it can be as vast and amazing as what is your piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth, because the entire universe, infinite wisdom, God, whatever you call it, doesn't make any mistakes. So you must be here for a reason. You already have permission to be that person. And people are going to judge you all day long whether you be that piece of the puzzle or not. But at least if you be the piece of the puzzle of heaven and earth that you are, one of you is fulfilled and happy. You understand? So, another thing is, of course, be upset. But don't be upset at the person or at maybe the family you think should, or the gun lobbyists, or don't be upset at them. Be upset at the lifetimes where we've decided to forget who we are. That we forget that we are fingers in the hand of all of creation. We are this. We know what's right from wrong. We don't need to wait for our political leaders to change things. We know what's congruent. We know what brings peace. So you can waste a lot of energy being upset at the situation, but give permission to the feelings. You should be upset at that we should be upset because it is incongruent for someone to cause pain to another person. But what we have to look at is over hundreds of lifetimes, how do we get to this place? And then are we willing to be someone who creates something different in the world? And what is it that you're actually called to do? And it's okay if what you're called to do, is just be kinder, to acknowledge people that look like they're having a tough time, or even people that aren't having a tough time. When they do have a tough time, they'll remember you. They'll also pay it forward to others, which also makes us feel more connected. We can't do anything about every family that's been affected by any shooting, all the shootings. It just seems so vast, and that's how we can get disempowered. That's how we can start to feel depressed, and that's the problem. We need to feel like we can do something. Well, we can do something right now together if you want to. So if you would like to do something, you can also pass along this message, and hopefully it will reach some people that are looking to find some peace, or to find some reason, or to find some clarity about the situation. But let's do something together right now. You see, you have 75 trillion cells, and out of your 75 trillion cells, you are actually emanating, giving off photon packages of light, which is why we pick up on each other, and we can feel each other, and we sense each other. But you see, the science behind being able to sense each other and feel instincts and feel our connection or not is that those photon packages of light travel around the world 7 times in 1 second. You have the capacity to actually focus those packages of light, those packages of understanding, those packages that bridge those that are in pain right now, like the parents that lost children, like the wounded in the hospital. Like the sisters who lost brothers, or the brothers that lost parents, or whatever it is, you have the capacity right now to channel the light that comes out of you every single millisecond, that travels no matter where you are on the planet. It's non-geographic, travels around the world at the speed of light 7 times in 1 second. You have the capacity to light up anyone, anywhere, anytime. And if you allow yourself right now to light up those families, those people, the police, the family of the shooter, the family of the people who've been hurt, the people trying to find reason, the band that was giving the concert, everyone in the crowd that witnessed something so incredibly horrible, you have the capacity right now to light them up and to let them know, just like you've handled some of the worst things, you know what people can handle because you've done it yourself. Light them up with that knowing that they have the capacity to move through this. They have the capacity to do it. They have the capacity, they have it within them. They have within them the connection they need with infinite knowing that they will be able to move through this, but most of all, the capacity to know that they're not alone. You found your connection. We're all here right now. I know you found your connection because we're here right now. Even if you listen to this on a recording, we're all connected right now. So just know that right now, whether the people that were in that incident are here or not, they're connected with us as well. And you're knowing that they can handle it, that they can do it, they can do this, and that they'll make it through. Your knowing is now being spread to their cells that are receiving those photon packages of light. And somehow there's a little awareness that they are not alone either. And maybe that we're all not alone. And that it's time that instead of giving our power away to those that we think are in power, we realize that they were never in power. We're the ones. So, let's see, the next thing is, look and see if there actually is anything for you to do beyond what we're talking about now. That's how you take the energy of what happens. You need to channel it into something, and then channeling it into being disempowered and depressed is not going to help anyone, anywhere, anytime, because what that says is, we can't do this. And I've seen enough of humanity from traveling all around the world that yes, we can. And we are. So if we can do this, what that means is, what are you called to do? What is your piece of the puzzle of heaven and earth? Who are you? Why are you here? What do you need to do to figure that out? How do you need to get clarity? Because the only direction this can catalyze you, you can either allow this to have you be disempowered or actually catalyze you to be the change, regardless of anyone judging you. You can feel in your heart who you are and why you're here. So, are you going to keep hiding, or are you going to be that piece of the puzzle of heaven and earth? What if we can create a world where our children don't have to worry about these kinds of things happening? What if the fact that you heard about this and it upsets you is the very clue that you are the one? What if it isn't those in power that are the one? What if the ones that actually feel it are the ones? That's why you're feeling it. And what world will you leave behind? By your actions and through your being in your everyday. Every day is a new day. You get to choose. And I just want to share with you that with every fiber of my being, I am called every day, and I will relentlessly, always, as my piece of the puzzle, call you up to who you really are and continue to see who you really are. And if that's what you're called to, you do it too. But you might have a different piece of the puzzle. Maybe you're called to change laws. Maybe you're called to do something else. I don't know. But I know that whatever it is that you're called to matters. It absolutely matters. Again, one more time, finally, I will say, last and not least, for a second time, people are going to judge you, whether you are being your piece of the puzzle of heaven on earth and having the courage to be who you came here to be, such that this world shifts. People are also going to judge you if you try to be something for them or try to change yourself to be acceptable to others. One way, at least one of you is happy. The other way, I promise you, no one is happy. Or very few. It really is getting to be time to choose. So this is Jennifer Hough of the wideawakening.com here in beautiful Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. We'll be back at dawn tomorrow for another message. And I just want you to know that we're doing our part here. And our love goes out to all of you. And we feel it all, and we're letting it catalyze us to something different, because we want to leave a different world behind. So bringing you all with us in this beautiful flight school experience. Big, big hugs. Love and miss you. We appreciate you, and giving you all big hugs. This is Jennifer Hough from thewideawakening.com. All the way around.